Welcome to the Tear Talk Podcast with author, coach, and speaker, MaShani Allen. Known as the Golden Scribe, MaShani has over 2 decades of writing experience, and her passion for the craft has given her the opportunity to impart wisdom, affirmation, hope, and confidence into many. Let's listen now as MaShani delves into topics that have impacted her on her Tear Talk journey and helped her discover the power of the pen. Welcome to the Tear Talk Podcast. So glad to have you all join me on today. You know, last week was a really good week and a very interesting week all at the same time. It started for me last Saturday. I had a Facebook Live interview speaking about journaling and the power of the pen and talking to authors, answering questions. Multiple topics were covered in this interview. And it was interesting when the young lady reached out to me to schedule this. You know, it was supposed to have been last month, but I lost my voice, so we had to reschedule it for this month. And then just to make sure I had an idea of, where the questioning would go, I had her send me a sample of some of the questions. And that, got my brain to going into thinking, how I would respond to certain things. So I was really happy that she had done that. And I, as you all hear on the intro every single week, I am known as the Golden Scribe. So during the interview, she asked me how I got that name. And for as much as I remember so many things, for some reason, I could not remember how and when I got the name of being the Golden Scribe. And I remember I asked one of my best friends who lives here with me. She couldn't remember. And then I finally got my other best friend on the phone who lives in Chicago. She couldn't remember either. And I just found that to be so strange that, first of all, I couldn't, but then others around me couldn't remember either. And I was like, I need to know the answer to this question, So my thought process was, let me start looking through like my emails and let me start looking through my documents and see the first time I actually ever used the term, like when do I see myself using it? So, and I also went to look on social media as well. So the best source for me was through my emails. And I saw that I used it in December of 2015 when I created my bio. And I was like, okay, let me go back to November of 2015 and December of 2015 in my journals, because between those 2 months, somehow something happened that caused me or brought out the name, the Golden Scribe. And this is why this podcast is titled Treasure, because I know some people find it interesting that I have my life journal from 2005 up to present day. But I tell you, last week, having those journals was like a straight treasure chest, because it helped me to remember something that is so important and actually so vital for me. So I was looking through my journals, and what actually triggered me also was Facebook, because there was a video that showed up in my Facebook because I was all on Facebook. I was in my journals. It started with the Facebook, which then led me to my journals. So being on Facebook has allowed me to archive not only words, but memories and moments. So with the Facebook, there was a video. I had totally forgotten But the way I got the name the Golden Scribe was based on my birthday in 2015. For my birthday, there's a young lady who was very dear to me. She told me about how she got me something really special for my birthday. And I definitely would have never been able to guess what it was. So it was her and I believe two other friends. We were at the Cheesecake Factory, and I remember she told me that the gift that she got me, that it was heavy. That I do remember. So I have an actual video of me opening the gift, and I'm trying to figure out what it is, and I pull out. Now, some of you are familiar like with a quill pen and how it has, and I should know the actual term, but it's where the inkwell, it's like the inkwell that goes with it. Well, the inkwell was gold. So that was the first thing I pulled out was this gold inkwell. So it's just like, okay, what is this gift? So then when I pull out the second part of the gift, it is an 18 karat gold feather pen. Like I'm showing with my hand how long it is, like y'all can see it, but it is rather long, it is rather thick, and it is rather heavy. And I can write with it as a regular pen, but I can also switch it to where I can write with ink. And in the video, I am completely in shock. I am completely speechless. And she posted when she shared the video, or when she shared the video, she posted this and she wrote this: a gift for a prophetic scribe, 18 karat gold feather pen. She said, as you embark on your journey of becoming an author, here's a piece of heaven. I know it's heavy, but so is your mantle. Happy birthday. Not only that, there is a small M in gold that is on the front of the pen as well. So I got a gold feather pen for my birthday. Then when I looked in my journals, I saw that my other best friend had sent me a gold colored watch. So in my journal, I wrote this was going to be my golden year. Everything is golden. So I believe that based on especially the first gift, that in that it was time for me to create my bio afterwards. And either I said it or someone said it, but going with the thing of golden, that's how the Golden Scribe came about. But I call this a treasure because the archive of Facebook and my journals helped me to find the answer to a question that I was just posed, and I know I'm going to be posed about a lot in the days to come, because it's like, how did you become the Golden Scribe? How did you come up with the name? How did the name come about? And again, a lot of it is based on how much I would transcribe, how much I would scribe. But in the end, one thing that I told the young lady was in the interview, since I didn't have that background, I told her I don't fully remember how I got the name. I said, but I believe the Lord has allowed the name to be a part of me because of the purity of my pour. And just like gold, it's constantly being refined in the fire to get out all the dross and all the impurities. And that's how I live my life. So when I write, what I write, it's golden, it's pure, it's honest, it's him. So that was my answer. But my treasure was the fact that I had it archived, I had it written, I had it, the words someplace that helped me to remember that very significant memory. But that wasn't the only thing that happened. So I'm going through my journals. I went through November of 2015 and December of 2015. And I'm looking through my journals, and there were words that were written about me in my journal that I had completely forgotten about, and I didn't have anywhere else but in my journal. Now, I have taken the painstaking task of making all of my dreams electronic, making all of my downloads electronic, making all of my prophetic words electronic, and making all of my quotes electronic. That way, it's no longer just in binders and journals. It's at my fingertips in my phone. And it has proved to be very, very helpful. When I'm sharing and I'm encouraging people, I can just go right to my phone and find different things, and even poems electronic. And that one kind of has me sad, because there are definitely poems that I have misplaced and I can't find. So that's why now I'm trying to make sure everything is electronic. So I'm looking through my journal, i.e. my treasure chest, and I found two. One was a word and one was a poem that someone had written about me. And not only did they write it, they sent it with the video of them recording themselves reading the poem. And the reason why I call this, okay, let me stay on track. So I was just blown away, because I think 2 weeks ago, I found another poem that someone had written to me. Now, mind you, I've written poems for people for years, actually for decades. But coming to a place where people are sending you communications and poems about yourself, that's like next level stuff. It's not just words, like it's a poem. So when I read it, it just blessed me, because it was just like, I totally forgot that this was written concerning me. And it's just like, man, how many other things are in these journals that that I have forgotten about? Like, how much treasure is in this chest that I call journaling. And I'm sharing this with you because I think some of you will be surprised at things that you have written. It might not be a poem, or it might not be something from someone else. It could be something that you wrote to yourself, that you can find to be a treasure for you, that you wrote, 20 years ago, and you read it today and it just warms your heart in a fresh way, in a new way. But I have to share this poem with you all because it just blessed me. And this is what it's called. It was written on December 15th of 2015, and it's called Beauty. Now, mind you, this poem was written while I was planning my first book signing for my first published book, which is The Beauty of Holiness, A Makeover from the Inside Out. Okay? And this is a poem that was written to me by a young lady by the name of Rain Wrights. And this is what she wrote. Beauty. They don't see the inner, deep insecurity and the sensitivity masked by the bold, confident fearlessness that just melts in Daddy's arms. Running to him, pursuing him, saying, God, if you don't do it, I can't do it. Just show up. Because it's not about me, has never been about me. It was you that called me. Calling me your beautiful creation and the many reflections of you. And then there's me, lost in the vastness, the splendor and majesty of your glory, revealing I as your creation, and whom you saw was very good, not according to my own abilities or inward and outward beauty, but because I have allowed you to take me on this journey, the crushing and the breaking, then the pressing, that shaped me and molded me for the delicacy and purity of the oil. You recreated me in your image, very likeness, and all my heart desires the world to see is not me, but the beauty of your reflection. As I worship you in the beauty of holiness, I've come to know your beauty, the mark of I in you in me. Beauty. Copyright 2015, Rain Writes. Oh my gosh. This is why I call this podcast Treasure. And I went, y'all know me and Webster are BFFs. And I went and looked up the definition of treasure. And one of the meanings of treasure is a collection of precious things. And for me, words are precious things. And I am a collector of words, not only my own, but even the words of others. And that still leads me to two other things that happened last week. I had the opportunity to meet with one student. I'll do that story first. So there's a young lady that two people had said that I needed to meet. They thought we would have a great connection. And I finally got to meet her last Thursday. And she came in while I was having a conversation with another young lady. And she just joined right on in. And as I'm talking, she's just taking notes. She's just like, that's good. Writing stuff down, texting herself, which is something that I do. And we ended up having really good dialogue, really good conversation. And I thanked the lady who made the connection. And she was like, you all should, continue to connect. I think that'll be really good. So I sent the young lady a thank you email, letting her know that hearing of her journey and, her willingness and just different things she shared, how I was blessed, her strength and her fortitude of already knowing who she is at such a young age. And just thanked her and let her know, if she needed anything, I'm available, if I can help her in any way. And that night I was headed to a concert with friends. This was Thursday night. And I'm sitting there because we had just parked. And I look at my phone and I have a reply email. And it says the following. And the reason why I'm sharing this is because when I say I treasure words, what she wrote is now in my journal. Literally. Because to me, I feel as though, first of all, people don't have to share anything with you. And for me, if they choose to, I treasure that. So my journal consists of things that I wrote, things that have happened to me, things that people have said to me. I'm like a word photographer. I literally capture words. But this is what she wrote. She said, "Dear Miss Allen, it was an honor meeting you today. Thank you so much for sharing your experience with God with the other young lady and I. Every single word you spoke either confirmed something, convicted me, or encouraged me to learn more about God. Your enthusiasm when speaking about Christ's humility encouraged me to keep speaking about Him in my authentic self and personality. I'm glad my story warmed your heart. It has not been easy getting to such a posture before the Lord, but it is encouraging to see how He is using it. I look forward to learning more from you too." And this is the part that made my heart melt. Not that the other parts didn't. But then she said, "I do have a question. Is there any way I can pray for you?" Oh, oh my God. I was touched deeply by that. But then on Friday, I got another communication, and this is from another young lady that I had lunch with on Friday. I thanked her for having lunch with me. And then she sent me a message, and this was her response. She said, "Thank you. I am so grateful for your presence in my life, both as an encourager and mentor. You always have such insightful knowledge and perspectives that are firmly grounded in biblical truth. Thank you." See, I don't take it lightly when people choose to say something besides the word thank you. And to me, all that I read to you today, and I have a whole lot more that I can share, but all of those to me are treasures. There are a lot of people that are hoarding and treasuring other things, but for me, it's about words. Because words can speak life, they can speak light, or they can speak death. And I choose to hone in and store up in my treasure box, i.e. my journal, words of light and life. And I encourage you, go look back. For those of you who do write, whether it be in your computer or whether it be with your pen, go back into your history and see what treasures you can find. Now, before we go, I am excited to share with you all, and this podcast is called Tear Talk, and I'm always talking about the Tear Talk journey. Well, one thing that I have done, and I haven't done it in 2 years, actually, since 2019, when I wrote the book Tear Talk, I would have a private Facebook group, and we would go through the 90 writing prompts together for 90 days. And it allowed people to, first of all, have structure of writing something every single day, because the prompt will show up as a post every single day. But then it pushed some people beyond themselves to where they would not only write in their journal, they would write within the Facebook group, which took courage, which took strength, allowing other people to see their thoughts. So it actually caused some people to grow and even some people to heal. And I am excited to announce that the Tear Talk journey will begin on May the 1st. If you would like to join me, and again, this is a safe place. There's no negativity. It's only encouragement. I monitor the group. I even come in and do Facebook Lives with the group to encourage people with their pen, with their writing, just all forms of encouragement. It is a great space to be in. If interested, if you go to facebook.com/groups and type in Tear Talk Book, or you can search for Tear Talk Book, you can register to be in the private Facebook group. The only prerequisite is that you purchase the Tear Talk book in order to join the group. So for those who want to take the journey, I would love to have you there. And again, the next time that you see that a Tear Talk podcast is posted, I pray that you decide to press play.
Thank you for joining the Tear Talk podcast. You can purchase today's featured t-shirt and learn more about MaShani by visiting MaShaniAllen.com. Also, check out her exclusive line of custom journals at bit.ly/The Golden Scribe.